Coach Lindgren, when you're ready, please ask your first question.
All right, I'll start. Brian, how much are you looking at maybe enhancing what Chance does as a runner?
Well, he got plenty of runs through scrambling on Saturday, but no, I think it's something I think that you saw in the film that was fits his skill set, and we tried to take advantage a little bit of that using his legs, and I thought he did a nice job in some of the runs, pulling the ball and then extending some plays. I think he rushed for a fair amount of yards. We just had too many negatives with a couple of the sacks. But yeah, that's something that one of his strengths, and we want to keep continue to play off that.
Is the zone read part of your any part of your?
Yeah, no, we there was some zone read last game, some that he gave and some that he pulled. I don't know that we got a lot of mileage out of it, but yeah, we already run the inside zone scheme, so adding the read element, I think just fits like I said, fits his skill set.
After looking at film of his play in particular, is there an area or two that you focused with him about cleaning up or focusing on?
Yeah, I think it's one was being able to hang in the pocket a little bit longer. At times and it's tough for any quarterback sometimes when you're getting hit. And we were asking him to do a lot in the drop back pass game there in the second half. But hanging in the pocket, trusting the protection, going through his progression. I think that was something that we looked at, when we went back and looked at the film. And then I think another thing was just being able to kind of identify the coverage and if the first read's not there, work to your second read as opposed to maybe, tucking it and rolling. So those were a couple things. And I just think, overall consistency, we just had, too many mistakes when you went back and looked at the film.
In regard to Calvin Tyler, in 2018 he was in the mix, I think, for the one job in camp at least, and he had all those injuries. How's he persevered over these last few years just to kind of stay in the mix, in what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I give him credit. I mean, he's fought off some injuries and I think he's done a nice job this fall of working hard and preparing, when he got his opportunity and he got his opportunity on Saturday. And I, for the most part, I thought, with him going in with kind of limited reps or the backup reps, he did a nice job kind of filling in and, did some good things, I think, particularly in pass protection. There were some things where he stepped in and made some plays for us. And then, like I said, any guy playing for his first time, there were some mistakes. And I think that's what we're also talking about with Chance is there were some mistakes in that first game, but we got to learn from them and then clean it up and look for it to be cleaner on Saturday.
Is there anything Calvin does that's unique that maybe, that he does different than Jamar or BJ?
I wouldn't say anything particular that those other two don't bring. I guess I don't know on that. Nothing stands out to me.
You guys went from having Jamar and BJ and obviously trying to get them both carries and then could potentially not have either of them this week. How do you kind of game plan for having one or having both or having neither?
Yeah, it's interesting. I just think running the ball is a big part of our offense, and Calvin's the next guy up, and we like Calvin, and we'll give him some opportunities. I think Chance gives us some opportunities with his legs to do some things in the run game, and then we got to be better in the pass game. So I think it's we kind of do what we do, and then a little bit of tweak the game plan to kind of fit our personnel of who we feel like is going to be available.
Brian, we talked to Jonathan yesterday, and he said that Trey Lowe and Trayshawn Harrison, are eligible for you guys now. Do you anticipate them being able to figure into the offense this week, or is it just kind of going to have to see how it goes?
Yeah, no, I think that you'll see those guys, and it's a little bit, I think, of we're trying to feel out what we've been playing with the guy, our current personnel, and where some of those guys are at. We're a little bit dinged up in some spots. But yeah, we're going to try to get those guys into the mix and see if we can't get them going. We're excited about them.
With
Chance,
Trey in particular, how much has he been able to practice? What has he been doing in practice?
Who's that? I missed it.
Oh, with Trey Lowe.
Oh yeah, he's been back. He practiced out there today. Looked pretty good.
Anything else?
yeah, looking back with Chance, he sort of intimated after the game that the defense and the blitzing sort of flustered him a little bit. What's the responsibility for him there? What's the chief thing he needs to do to kind of protect himself in that circumstance?
Yeah, they brought a ton of pressure. And I think, most teams will do that when you get anytime you get a guy making his first start. No, I think it is a quarterback is being able to make them pay for bringing the pressure, and whether it's, feeling the pressure or adjusting the protection or hanging in there and making a throw under pressure. And I thought he did that at times. We just didn't do enough of it. And so I think that's something that we went back and watched the film. It was like, man, here's got to be your answer on this. And yeah, they gave him a lot of different looks. It was a difficult game, I think, for the QB in that one. But I thought he made some good plays and did some good things. And then there were some areas where it was like, wow, now you saw that, you learned from it, and hopefully we can clean it up Saturday.
And so kind of looking at his performance, when you judge it, a lot of it is maybe stuff that we don't see, pre-snap decisions maybe that he makes. Is that probably one of the areas that he needs to kind of just experience?
Yeah, I mean, there were some just progression issues, of like, hey, we needed to get to the number 2 read or the number 3 read, or versus this coverage. The ball should have gone here, and they were doing a nice job of disguising some of their coverages in those situations. And then we missed a couple throws, and I think Chance, when he gets up here, he'll be able to tell you some of that stuff too. I mean, there were some throws, some opportunities that we had at the quarterback position to make some of those plays, and we're capable of making it. And I think he was frustrated. I thought after the game that felt like he could have made some, but I thought he battled and competed, throughout the course of the game, and he took some shots and he kept coming back, and he put together a couple drives in the second half to give us a chance. And we had 2 pops at it at the end in the 2-minute drill and just couldn't get it done. So there were some definite positive things to build off of as well. But I think he was a little bit frustrated. I think he can do better. He can perform better. And like I said, I think he'll say the same thing.
Brian, in regards to the run game, playing against Utah, did they seem like they defended your run as well as anyone you faced this year, or did you have some other issues that didn't lead to some, obviously?
They were really committed to stopping it and loading up, and I just didn't feel like we made them pay enough in the pass game for overloading and trying to stop the run. We just, whether it was a protection issue or missing the throw or making the wrong read, or there was a number of things. We just didn't execute well in the pass game to be able to kind of keep them off balance that way. And a little bit of you have to say too is that we were used to having Jamar in there, and he wasn't there. I think that had a little bit of it as well. And then we got down in the second half, and I think we needed to kind of catch up. I think we were down 30-10. And so we probably didn't have as many opportunities, I guess, in the run game. In the second half, we leaned a little bit more towards the pass, trying to kind of get back in the game.
Jack's long run, I'm just curious, I mean, it almost looked like he was wondering when somebody was going to tackle him toward the end. Did you guys kind of laugh with him a little bit about the end of that run? Or
well, he's 245 pounds now. He doesn't have that same type of speed. But yeah, we'll take it. I'm just glad he was able to pop one, and then he was able to hold on to the football, and finish it.
With Ben sliding into the back of a quarterback spot now, what have you kind of seen from him since improvement-wise since he got on campus?
I just think his understanding of what we're doing offensively. Ben's a really sharp guy. I think he's got a good handle of what we're doing, and really works at it. Even as a guy that was pretty much primarily just running with the scout team. He was in those QB meetings, taking notes and asking questions and preparing like he would he was going to be the guy. And so I really like that. And then I think he's just getting used to the speed of the game. Things I think when he first got here were moving a little bit fast for him, or he was a little hair late on a throw, or and I think he's getting used to playing at the speed at this level. And I think 2 or 3 weeks on the scout team as a scout team quarterback going against our first team defense has been really good for him. But I think he's got a bright future. I really do.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We have Calvin Tyler Jr. ready. You ready? Please ask your first question.
Yeah, Calvin, back in 2018, you were kind of in the mix for the one job, and you had those injuries. How's it been like for the last 2 years, just sort of persevering through, what you've gone through, I guess, at Oregon State?
I feel like all my life been filled with like patience and persevering, and me going through things and overcoming them. But my biggest thing, like I'm a big religion guy, so I trust God's time, and I know everything's gonna work out for the better when it comes to that. But I always prepared every week, like I would play, and like I said, I just trust God's timing.
A lot of guys in your position, they start looking elsewhere, maybe transferring. Did that ever cross your mind, or were you going to stick it out all the time?
It never crossed my mind. I've never been a guy to like get up and run when things get hard. I trust the coaches here because, like you said, I was in that spot where I played my true freshman year, and I was in the spot to be the number one. So I trust the coaches. I love what Coach Milk and the staff got going on here.
What went through your mind on Saturday when they had to turn to you and said you're the guy now? What went through your mind?
To be honest with you, mentally, I feel like I was there, but physically, I could have did better with a lot of things. Like I said, I felt a little heavy in the run game. Didn't make the plays that I should have used to make, but I know it's a new week coming up, so that's what I'm focused on now.
You had a son in September?
September 14th. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
How'd that A, how's that gone? And B, how's it changed you?
For sure. It just made me grind harder. Like that's another motivation. So he pushed me harder. Like I know I've always been bigger than myself, but I know it's even bigger than me now, especially with him on my side. So, and it was good. Like he got to see me play, but I want to do better for him and the family.
What's it like mixing football and family and all that stuff now? Because it wasn't like that last year, I imagine.
No, sir. But it's pretty much the same thing. I get my grades done. I mean, I get school out the way, and I can focus on him, watch film in the afternoon. So yeah, it's pretty smooth.
You still want to be a bull rider?
If the NFL don't work out, but yeah, most definitely. Matter of fact, I was training with Cooper Davis, one of the PBR champions, 2016. We had the same trainer, so yeah, I have to give a Coop. He's from Jasper, Texas.
Do you think there's anything about rodeo that translates to your running back skills?
That grit, just having that grit and that killer instinct, knowing like, shoot, at any minute I can get hurt or probably die or something, but nah, just having that grit.
When was the last time you were on a bull?
Honestly, I never rode a bull. I used to ride like sheeps and try to get on calves, but my mom, they wouldn't let me get on junior steers or steers. They said it was too dangerous, so I had to just watch my cousins do all the work.
What was that rehab process kind of like after your injury? How do you stay positive when you knew it was such a long road to recovery?
Shoot, like I said, I trust God. But just knowing like better days gonna come. I'm knowing like what I want, like what's my purpose. Just pushing myself daily, saying like it's eventually like things gonna work out, and I'm gonna get better to it, like even what I was before. So I just kept pushing myself, having a positive mindset, keeping all the negative energy out the way.
How much of a kind of motivating factor is it in practice every day when you're kind of with Jamar and BJ there, and you have two really good running backs?
Yeah,
obviously kind of pushing you. What is that competition like?
It's good competition. Seeing them guys, it's healthy competition too. Like seeing them guys, we all push one each other. It's not just us three. It's like the other ones too. Teron, from Isaiah Newell, Logan, Trey Lowe, Kanoa, and Mikey. So like we just all push each other, trying to make the plays every day.
Calvin. All right, next up, we have Chance Nolan. When you're ready, please ask your first question.
Hey, Chance, looking now back at the film and time to kind of process your first appearance, what were some of your takeaways after watching film?
I just think personally there was a lot of things that I left out there on the field, which is just basic stuff that coaches taught me and basic progression stuff that I think I can do better on. And then there's throws that I felt that I could have made, throughout the game. There was just a bunch of third down conversions, some different throws that I wish I could have had back. But it's just after digesting the film, it's just a lot that I can learn from in my first start, and I'm just looking forward to the future.
Sounds like coaches are saying to remain patient in the pocket too. Don't give up on the play as fast as you may have in that first game.
Yeah, I think at times I was a little too playing a little too fast and out of my pace, and I was kind of letting the defense rush me out of my reads. And I think I was bailing out of some reads too early and just letting my play develop, or just hit the check down, not use my legs as much, because I know getting the ball into my receivers' hands, those are the playmakers. Those are the people that need to get the balls in their hands. So just going through my read, if it's not there up top, checking it down to my, my check down. I just need to, go through the progression and, fill out the defense and read the defense.
Would you say you feel better or worse about your play after a few days?
I feel better. I think that, there's a lot of things that was out there that we could have, made that would have swayed the game in any way. It was a really close game, hard fought to the end. It's one of those things where, if one play kind of goes your way, you might come out on the other end of things. But I think personally, there's a lot of things that we were sloppy on offense. And I think that was my fault in a lot of ways. But I think I can be a lot cleaner, and just, going after watching the film and digesting it again, there's just so much things that I've learned from already, and that I'm, I took into practice today.
How is the speed of the game compared in the Pac-12 compared to when you were at Saddleback?
Oh yeah, the guys out here, they're flying around. So it's a lot faster, I would say. You got the whole team is, best players around. So, but it's still football. These guys are still in the same spots. They still run the same coverages. It's still football. So, there's not much change there, so I don't think it's too different. It's still football, but, these guys are a little more tone and a little more sound. You got to be better. You got to be more perfect on offense, just with the details of things, and to be successful.
Anything else for Chance?
What areas do you think you will show the greatest? They always say that game 1 to game 2 is your biggest improvement. Is there an area or two you expect I'm going to be better here?
I think just playing in my pace, kind of just not rushing myself, getting the call and then getting set and then reading the defense and taking my time. I felt at times as if, I was kind of getting up there and, playing a little rushed at times, and not, fully reading the defense, or fully, maybe missing a send of motion or something like that. So I think just digesting it more, slowing down, finding the shot clocks, and just, breathing out there, will help me a lot, I think. And I think that just comes with experience. I think this next game I'll feel a lot different out there, and I think I'm going to be able to, play a lot better. I think I know I'm capable of playing a lot better than what I showed this last weekend.
I imagine Tristan had some advice for you in the past week. Was there anything interesting he said to you that you might not normally think of?
Yeah, Tristan is he's a very bright. He has so much advice. Day in and day out. I'm just a sponge when I'm around Tristan, always trying to learn just different things he says. But just one thing he was preaching to me is just, kind of keeping on the guys during practices and throughout the week, and just because, that those are pivotal reps that you're not going to get back in any time. So you need to, run full speed reps and, get that timing with your receivers, because that's going to show up on Saturdays. And that's kind of one thing he was preaching to me throughout the week.
How different was kind of this week, knowing that Tristan is out for the year now, and that this is kind of your offense?
It's not too different, because I know I was supposed to be preparing like I was the starter and being that guy there. So, for me, I was just kind of thrusted into the position, and I think that I need to, step up and make better plays at the end of the day. But I think for me, it's not really, this is where I wanted to be at, and this is where I feel like I should be. So, for me now, I just need to, be better and, prepare better, and, understand what the defenses are trying to do to me.
You targeted Zariah Beeson. I think he was the receiver you threw to the most. Do you feel really comfortable with him, or is that just kind of a matter of where you were at in the progressions on some plays?
No, yeah, no, I do feel very comfortable throwing to Zariah, but I mean, I feel comfortable about a lot of our guys. I think we'll have some guys coming in this week that I built some, some more chemistry with. And I think, everything kind of comes down to getting some more reps and just practice and getting that timing down with your receivers and the tight ends. I think with some times we're just a little off on the timing of things. And maybe I was a little slow at getting to that receiver on my progression or so. But no, I think just getting that extra timing and routes after practice is going to help us, be more clean in the game.
Okay, thank you, Chance. All right, last but not least, we have Brandon Kipper. When you're ready, please ask your first question.
Brandon, I get asked this a lot, but what is a successful season for you guys?
It's a tough one. I mean, last year we had a year where we had two backs who had really good seasons. You could say that was a good season. Jake had a really good season last year. You could say that was a good season. I mean, for me, a good season for an offensive line is when the team does well. If the team doesn't do well, it doesn't matter what happened. Doesn't matter if all the passes were picked up. If there's always something more the O-line could have done. So for me, when the team does well, when our backs excel, when our quarterback can excel, he has time, he can make his reads, his passes. That is a successful season for me in the O-line, in my opinion.
So you would say at this point, you guys are on your way to that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Munchie's had a good season. Tristan was having a good season thus far, and I think Chance is on his way to have a great season. It's really tough to tell. I mean, that's one of those things you have to look back in retrospect. I think in the moment you have to focus on the next game or the current game at hand, and you got to play it like it's the last game and it's the first game at the same time. You can't think about what happened in the past. You can't think about what's going to happen in the future. You can't think about whether you're having a great season now or you're having a bad season now, because if you're focused on having the fact that you're having a bad season now, it's only going to get worse. And if you're focused on the fact that you're having a great season now, it's only going to get worse. You got to live in the now. You got to prepare for the now, and you got to prepare for this game. Right now, I don't know where we're at. Right now, last game, I think there's a lot of things we could improve on. The game before that, I think there's a million things we could improve on. The game before that, the same. I don't think we've had a perfect game yet. So at the end of the season, we can look back at the film and we can judge ourselves as a whole. But right now, I think we got to judge ourselves in the last game and the next.
In regard to the run game against Utah, was that the toughest defensive front to block this season for the run, or what did you think?
I mean, we've played some good teams up front who are pretty stout, pretty strong. This team brought some pressures, some blitzes we were expecting. They did the same thing to us last year. We prepared all week for it, and I thought we did a good job picking it up and playing with our adjustments. They were a good front, but I also think we have a good O-line. We have a good scheme and really good backs. I mean, I could say that they were one of the better ones, yeah, but I think that Oregon had a great front. It was really tough to run against, but Washington, same, Cal, same. I mean, that's the great thing about Pac-12 is you got a lot of experienced front sevens right now. We're lucky enough to get to play with a lot of these guys who have experience. So, I mean, yeah, they were good, but I wouldn't say they were head and shoulder the best.